Hello and welcome to another video. Today in this video I wanted to share with you my insight on two fitness trackers and sleep trackers. One is the Oura Ring, which is this one. This is the black color. And the other one is a Fitbit, I believe this is Insight 3. I've been wearing both of them at the same time, as you can see in this setup, for a couple of months to get good data to see if the two parameters, which is sleep and activity level based on the heart rate, is somewhat similar. And I've noticed for the most part they are. There's some differences, but in general, I believe that the data that's collected with these sensors is pretty accurate. But it depends on the preference, and what you're trying to track is what you should buy. So from my perspective, Oura Ring was something to get used to. The Oura itself recommends sizing the ring and sizing it onto one of these fingers, either this one or this one. And I didn't really like it. I couldn't imagine having something on these fingers, so I chose this finger, ring finger, on my dominant hand. And when I had the trial kit, I wore the ring for 24 hours as recommended, and I ordered, this is size 6. What I didn't realize that in the summer, my body swells up, I guess, a little bit more. So this ring has gotten very tight. So what I end up doing is, in general, when I'm outside, I wear the ring on this hand, and when I'm back home, I wear it on this hand because this finger is not as I guess thick, so it's easier to wear it. With the watch Fitbit, this is my second one. I feel like it's easier to adjust to it because many people wear watches, and I think it's just a natural kind of fit. Plus, these bands are adjustable. You can get a larger size or a small size, plus this, right? You can easily adjust this. It's definitely more complex with the Oura Ring. Another thing, if you decide to pick a finger that is in between two fingers, you can see that there is some resistance. The ring itself is not super thick. And this is version 4, so the sensors, it's going to be really hard to remove it now. The sensors are not really sticking out much, so I don't really feel the sensors. And that's, I think, an upgrade compared to Oura Ring 3. I've never had that one, but you can see how the sensors are almost invisible. They're there though. So if you're working and you wear a ring on your dominant hand, let's say you put your hand on a mouse, it's a little bit annoying. And at first, when I started wearing it, I would get irritation on my other fingers because this would bump up against, especially if you're holding something. From a comfort perspective, another thing I notice is when I exercise at the gym and I need to hold a dumbbell, it's a bit uncomfortable, especially if the dumbbells have that stainless steel handle. First of all, it makes these tiny little scratches on the ring. And secondly, it's just very uncomfortable. Also, like if you like to hang on something as part of your exercise routine, that also is really difficult because, again, you have to hold tightly, and this gets in the way. With the watch, I find it more difficult to sleep with it because I like to sleep on my stomach, and sometimes my arm will go like sideways, and because of the band, it's this silicone kind of band, it rubs against cotton sheets and catches on. And so I found this to be quite annoying, but not something that you can't get used to. Oura Ring for sleeping is much better because it's just like a ring. Now let's talk about the actual data. From my perspective, I believe that Oura Ring is better at capturing sleep compared to a Fitbit. A Fitbit frequently, for me at least, it does not capture heart rate. I wouldn't say frequently. I take that back. Maybe 10% of the time. So, but there is such an occurrence, and it won't show you the sleep pattern, REM sleep, deep sleep, things like that. In general, when compared side by side, you see that there's some discrepancy, but not much. I feel like Fitbit tends to perceive any kind of awake activity as light sleep sometimes, versus Oura truly captures it as awake. I don't know from a technological perspective how that works, but that's been my observation. Now, from an activity perspective, I feel like Fitbit is actually better at capturing than Oura Ring. I feel like Oura Ring overestimates the number of calories burned, the number of steps walked. I don't believe it's very accurate compared to the Fitbit. Even if you enter your weight and height in the app, just like you do with Fitbit, Oura Ring just seems to be overestimating the number of calories burned. I do think it still captures well the heart rate, but for some reason that setting to calculate the activity and this number of steps is off somehow. And it's off by, if you compare again side by side, by over 1,000 steps. So I would say it's quite significant. So overall, what would I select if I wanted just one device? I would probably go with a Fitbit watch. And the main reason is I feel like the price of the watch, I think I got it for under $100, is much lower than paying $300 for an Oura Ring. And I feel like the data that you get is similar enough, if not more accurate, on Fitbit, especially if you're truly tracking activity, that the extra cost of comfort for some people in a ring and maybe it's just not worth it. I wanted to address another thing, is a battery life. Oura Ring lasts me about 4, maybe 5 days at most. And with Fitbit, I could go 10 days easily. So that's another plus. Now, of course, if you look at the size of it, the battery size is much smaller than this. So it's kind of, you understand why that is. So in general, I would recommend both, but it really depends on what you're looking for. What you're looking for from a style perspective, from an accuracy perspective. If you truly are looking something that's accurate to document your sleep, then go for an Oura Ring. If anything, if you're looking for something else, then I would pick the Fitbit. Hope this was helpful. Take care of yourself. Be well.